listening in. I hope you all are having a wonderful day or night. Welcome to our third episode of the World in You podcast. Today we will be learning more about South Africa's rich and authentic cuisine. By taking you all on this adventure with us, we aim to create more cultural awareness and help gain a better understanding as well as a greater appreciation for everyone around the world. My name is Sushmitha Sundaram and I am a rising senior high school student from California, USA. Alongside me, Muhammad Ibrahim, an aspiring interior designer from Pakistan, will be the ones hosting today's episode. Right now, I am very excited to talk with our special guest, Miss Diteboho Tsotetsi. Miss Diteboho currently resides in Johannesburg, South Africa, and is a passionate cook. In this episode, Diteboho will tell us all about her own rendition of the African dish, putu, which is considered a staple food in both the Zulu and Xhosa tribes. Without further ado, let us now request Diteboho to introduce herself to our audience today.
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm DT and I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you for that insightful introduction, Diteboho. Let us now start with the first question of today's episode. With there being thousands of delicious and unique traditional South African food items for you to choose from, what made you choose the dish putu to present to our global audience today?
Okay, so putu is similar to pap, and I feel like pap is very common and a lot of people already know about it. So I just wanted to sort of bring like more awareness towards putu and to just sort of show more dishes, as I feel like a lot of dishes that I grew up eating are not very well represented in the media, especially in terms of South African cuisine. So yeah, that's basically it.
I see. So you're basically saying that it's a very underrepresented item in your cuisine, like not that many people talk about it in your community?
No, we do talk about it, like nationally we do, but internationally it's not well known. It's not really anywhere. There isn't much history about it. People outside would not know about it or know of it.
I see. And also, I think the first food item that you mentioned is something like pug. Could you elaborate on
Yes.
what that is? Because I think me and Ibrahim, I don't think we know what that is yet.
Okay, pap and putu, probably like literally just the same dish. However, the cooking technique and the texture is what is different. So pap has a more porridgey-ish and softer texture, and putu on the other hand has a very crumbly-ish texture. So I think the difference is mainly within texture, but in terms of the ingredients used, it's literally just the same thing.
So it's just a different technique and the different textures.
Yes.
All right, then. In that case, that's a wonderful choice to choose putu. Let us now talk about the story behind the dish. So, Ibrahim, I think you can carry this one.
Yeah. So, for our listeners to better understand what Puthu is, can you please explain its rich history and how it has impacted modern African cuisine?
Okay, so once again, Putu does not have much history. Rather, she has the same history as pap. And the only history behind pap is probably behind maize meal, which is used to cook pap slash putu. And maize meal was brought in Africa slavery days, and it wasn't necessarily our staple food. One of our staple food at the time was known to be sorghum. However, due to the introduction of slavery and colonizers, we had to, I think, switch to maize meal. And I guess people decided to embrace that at the time, and now it's just part of our culture.
Yeah, here in Pakistan, like when I learned that we're going to talk about Puthu, I also searched that up on YouTube and saw that it uses maize, basically maize flour.
Mm-hmm.
So, maize flour over here in Pakistan is also very common. And especially in rural areas, people really enjoy it with a dish called saag. So, I was also really looking forward to cook Puthu over here as well because we have maize flour over here as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
really
was
nice.
yeah, that was really fascinating. Now that we have had a taste of the dish history, let's shift the spotlight onto the brilliant mind behind it. So, Shweta, do you want to continue?
Like Ibrahim mentioned, let us now learn more about the amazing chef herself. What or who inspired you to create a cooking channel, Dita Boho?
Okay, so I grew up in a township. A township consists of like people from different tribes. Okay, so in South Africa we have different provinces. So if you go to KZN, its main population is the Zulu tribe, right? However, if you come to Gauteng is like the central business district, and a lot of people from different tribes come there. But that's where I was raised. And simply because I think growing up, I've just sort of realized that we all just sort of use the same ingredients, but it's just different techniques, or even if it is the same techniques and it's literally just the same dish, we have different names. And like I've just learned to realize that we're all just the same, like we're all connected in some way or another. So that's what like mainly inspired. I wanted to see how other people were cooking and how similar their culture is to ours. I know that in Zimbabwe, pap is basically sadza. So when I first heard sadza, I thought it's a different dish, just to find out it's just pap. And that was very interesting to me and it intrigued me. And I was like, I want to know more. I want to know more. That's about it.
Wow, I found that so fascinating how you wanted to find unity and connection within the diverse community that you grew up in that included several provinces and tribes. So it's like finding that common place where all of you guys can unite as one, right?
Yeah. And it's like just through food.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part. I love eating all the time, different cuisines,
Same.
different types. What's one of my favorite hobbies, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's always inspiring to hear how personal stories can fuel such a creativity in the kitchen, similar to yours. But I know your cooking skills and talents don't just stop at African cuisine.
So the next questions that our listeners really are interested in is, other than cooking traditional African food recipes, what other cuisines do you enjoy spending time making?
Okay, so currently I'm like really into K dramas. So Korean dishes have really been doing it for me. My stepdad was raised by an Indian family, so I've been exploring that like sort of all my life. So I really like making rotis, dal, and stuff like that with him. So he teaches me like his Indian side, and then I watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to cook Korean inspired dishes.
So as you mentioned earlier that all of us are in some way connected and we kind of use the same ingredients and the same dishes as well to some extent, but we have different names. So what Korean dishes and Indian dishes do you find that are making them locally as well? They are somewhat the same but with a different name over there.
I haven't really found any similarities so far, but okay, so there's this Korean dish, kimchi. Somehow the taste always reminds me of acha. It's like a salad in South Africa. I can't put it in any category, but it's like a side dish, and we usually have it with whatever food we're having at the moment. And yeah, the taste is just very, very similar.
That's really fascinating to know. So clearly, your culinary curiosity knows no bounds. Let's explore how your roots have shaped your journey as a chef.
So, Diteboho, how would you say your African cultural identity has impacted your overall career as a rising chef?
So growing up, I remember I'd watch like a lot of cooking shows and stuff like that. And a lot of these cooking shows were basically Western. And at the moment it did, I guess, cloud my judgment. And I thought that what was happening at home, like all the cooking that was happening at home wasn't standard, like it wasn't good enough. But then I think I've come to realize that it is okay. There's nothing wrong with our food. And it's just food at the end of the day. I think my culture has helped me understand that cooking doesn't have to be in just one way. Like, you can be creative about it. You can cook something, you can boil it, you can just grill it, you can bake it. It just gives you more options, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely does make sense. From what I heard, your culture helped you convert uncertainty about cooking the authentic South African cuisine to confidence, where your community, including you, was able to finally embrace the unique spices, the unique flavors of South Africa,
Yes,
and really
yes.
incorporate that into the dishes and let people from all over the world try them, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of identity, food is often a vessel for our memories and emotions. So I'd love to know how that applies to your experience as a cook in South Africa.
So, is there a particular moment or memory from your life that you always think about when cooking African food?
Okay, whenever I'm cooking African food, I always think of gathering. Like in South Africa, a lot of people are known to have traditional ceremonies, and during the times, we'll have like a group of women just come together usually, and they'll be like peeling, and it's just fun. Sometimes they'll be peeling and they'll be cooking, and it's just like a lot of teamwork, and the men on the side will be slaughtering the meat, and it's just vibe. So I just always think of that anytime I'm cooking. I just like that unity and that atmosphere of teamwork, and some people are just making jokes and we're all listening maybe to like music while chopping up stuff. It's just very nice.
Yeah, that's such a heartfelt story. Now, for those who might be following in your footsteps,
What advice would you have for someone who wants to explore their heritage through food, especially if they're far from home?
I think I tell them that sometimes what the media portrays, like, don't let that cloud your judgment, because growing up, the South African food that I was eating wasn't necessarily like represented on any media platform. Like, I wouldn't see fed cakes somewhere, but now I've seen some people sort of try to break that barrier. I've seen people like Tyler, she was cooking pap and wors, and I felt very proud because that's like a staple dish in South Africa. Like, a lot of people have that. And then, yeah, I just tell them, don't let the media try to cloud your judgment of what you remember of your heritage. Just try to stick to what you know, and eventually you'll find your path. That's about it.
Wow, I think that's very powerful advice, especially considering you urging people all over the world who are trying to embrace this type of field of cooking through like
Mm-hmm.
avoiding underrepresentation and the wrong representations of their culture and their cuisines in the media. And another thing you
Yeah.
mentioned, the Tyla video, I also have watched that video. I personally enjoy
Yeah.
listening to Tyla's music as well as watching her videos. She has a very nice personality and she's a very
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. So you've definitely inspired me and Ibrahim and all our other listeners here today. So before we wrap up, I would love to just end with a bit of imagination, thinking a little bit out of the box.
As a designer, I would like to ask this question regarding imagination and creativity. If you could invite three people, living or past, to a dinner where you are cooking putu, who would they be and why?
Okay, so the first one is currently living, and it's DJ Kabza the Small. He's a DJ. He's an Amapiano DJ in South Africa. I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's okay. So there's this video that was circulating online where he was saying that he's craving inyama yantlogo. Inyama yantlogo is a type of meat that is usually eaten with putu. So I'd like to have him over and just talk more about like his music and all of that. And then secondly, it would be, I think, Shaka Zulu. Shaka Zulu is a dead. He passed on. He's a passed on Zulu king. And I think the reason I'd like to have him there is to, I think, understand the Zulu history from him. I've heard sometimes that what we are shown in the media isn't necessarily true, and I haven't been able to fully research it. So I think him be like the fact that he had lived during that time, I'd like for him to explain to me and tell me what really happened. And then lastly, it would be my great grandmother who also passed on. I don't have any memory of her making the dish for us, which I think is very weird because my grandma makes the dish for us. So I'd probably like to ask her, like, how come we didn't eat that with you? So yeah, those are my three people.
That's so inspiring. Okay, I just want to ask one thing. While I was researching about the dish putu, I came across a reel
Hmm.
where they were saying that Nelson Mandela also liked some form of putu dish. So, do you know anything about
Yes.
that?
Okay. So Nelson Mandela was Xhosa, right? And in Xhosa, Putu is the name is Umpokoko. So I might be butchering that, but eaten with amasi, which is the same as Zulu people. They still have it with amasi, and apparently it was his like favorite dish. I found that out too. I think that's like really really cool.
Uh-huh, yeah, that's so inspiring that your leader also connects with the citizens and eat the same food and have that one of his favorite foods. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing your journey, flavors, and stories with us today. Before we go, where can our listeners find your recipes and follow your online work?
Can find everything on Taste of Home. It will have a website soon. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So, Smita, you want to continue from here?
Yeah, so like Ibrahim just said, thank you so much for sharing your journey to all our viewers today. It was very entertaining and very informative because I learned so much more about the South African heritage and culture and especially the cuisine. And thank you for enlightening us on all of this.
Thank you for giving me the platform to do so.
Of course. Furthermore, I would also like to thank all our listeners. Without you all, there would be no You in the World in You podcast. Kind of cheesy, I know. But if you have any comments, concerns, or ideas for our future episodes, please reach out to us at theworldinus@gmail.com. With that being said, I hope you all have a great day or night. Thank you, and we'll see you in our next episode.